Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's May 18th, 2017. November of 2016, I put out a video right after the selection of Trump, and I said there would be a very symbolic news story in connection to Donald Trump on this date, and it has happened. It is this car crash in Times Square. I'm going to show you what this is all about. If you've been watching my work in the last 48 hours, I've been talking about June 3rd, Wall Street, Donald Trump, and House of Cards. I'm going to show you how this news story is pointing right to June 3rd. So, CNN, top headline. If we go there right now, I'm sure this is still the top headline. This is the big news right now, in addition to the death of Chris Cornell. And if you missed my work on Chris Cornell, check it out. Major symbolism in this death with the song Black Hole Sun and the total solar eclipse that will happen later this year, August 21st. Okay, they've updated their headline. We'll go over this updated headline here in a moment, but let's start with what we already got. CNN, when this broke, car plows into crowd at Times Square. This headline in Gematria sums to 135. 135, just like Wall Street, forwards and backwards, has Gematria of 135. Donald Trump's 135th day in office is going to be June 3rd. June 3rd. And down in the description, I'm going to link videos I put out in the last 48 hours so you have more knowledge on why we're already looking at this date. Trump's 135th day, June 3rd. Donald Trump, who ran on building a wall, who was announced as the 45th president on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, who was a casino manager in New Jersey. The symbolism is the wall is going to fall, and the wall is Wall Street. So here we go. Wall Street also has Gematria of 63, like June 3rd, Trump's 135th day in office. You see how nice that is? Donald Trump's tagline from The Apprentice, "You're fired," 63. Remember, The Apprentice sums to the same thing as Donald John Trump, his birth name. Berlin Wall also has Gematria of 63. Donald Trump announced on the fall of the Berlin Wall and Wall Street overlap. The number 63, when you add 1 through 63 together, it sums to 2016, like the year Trump was selected in. Berlin Wall also has Gematria of 45. And think about it, Trump, the 45th president, look at where today's wreck is. Broadway and 45th Street. And you know what? I didn't check the Gematria Broadway. I just want to take a peek real quick. Broadway. 46 will be the date numerology, June 3rd. And Mike Pence, if he were to replace Trump, which could also happen that day, been talking about this, it's a date with 46 numerology. So 45th Street and Broadway, which connects to 46, 45, 46. Time magazine put out an article earlier this year how the 25th Amendment could be used to remove Trump from office by the vice president in Congress if Trump's deemed incompetent. Talk more about the 25th Amendment in just a second. But just look, 45th Street, Berlin Wall, 45th president. By the way, Mike Pence, if he were to become president, he'd be number 46, but he'd only be the 45th person to be president, just like how Trump's number 45 but the 44th person. Obama was number 44 but the 43rd person. So on. All the way back to Grover Cleveland, who had a split term, he was number 22 and 24. Messing up the count. But anyway, Mike Pence would be the 45th president, the 46th in number. Look at how his name's 45 forwards and back. Again, June 3rd, 2017 could be the date that Donald Trump's fired, and as the media is telling us, just yesterday, the day before this news, Wall Street had its biggest drop in 8 months. Put out a video on this in the middle of the night. Check it out. Just before this news, I said the market is being signaled for takedown. This is what the headlines are telling us. But just think about it. Donald Trump, The Apprentice, we're living out a planned theater that's a mocking of the people of this nation, which is why I speak out every day and try to bring awareness. Been trying to tell everybody since September 11, 2001. People aren't catching on. 16 years later, you're fired. It could be Donald Trump on June 3rd, and with his firing, in this contrived world we live in, they'll say, oh, that instability just caused a major market shakeup, And then, investors, the working class investors, they'll be out their money the way it always works. And then the tyrants come in and sweep up all the scraps, and they're even richer than they were before. But look at this. The Time magazine article, written March 7, 2017, said how the 25th Amendment could be used to replace Trump with Pence. Look how Pence and Trump are both 25. The 25th Amendment. I think it's going to happen. I think Time magazine has told us. And with regards to 45 and Pence, remember the first story after Trump got elected? Him and Mike Pence, Trump and Pence teamed up to save Carrier 45. It's all a joke. But here's where it gets really good. Times Square, where this wreck happened, at 45th and Broadway. Times Square, gematria 48, like Donald Trump. Also, Cleveland, where Donald Trump had his convention, gematria 48. The word wall has gematria 48. So think about it. Times Square, Donald Trump, Cleveland, wall, a crash with the wall coating not too far from Wall Street. And just for good measure, let's not forget that LeBron James, the star in Cleveland, has a show about the wall now. On the 48th day of 2017, February 17th, they brought out a movie about a wall, The Great Wall, starring Matt Damon, kind of like Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai. A white guy is the last samurai, only in Hollywood. But anyway, Times Square has the Trump connection, and as I said, the reason I was looking at May 18th so hard is because of its connection to Donald Trump. The name Donald Trump equals 138 like federal. Here we are on the 138th day of the year. We're living out a federal Masonic agenda, manipulation of news and information to steer people astray, what's gone on in this country since the beginning. Show you something else about today. Donald John Trump has gematria of 185, like 18/5 for the 18th of May, the 18th day of the 5th month. Today has a lot of connections to Trump, who symbolizes the wall and money and markets and gambling. House of Cards. Hold on, there's a few more pieces here. With regards to the 227 days remaining, Scottish Rite Freemasonry, which Donald Trump is of, Ancient Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, their official name in North America, has the gematria of 227. Scottish Rite, they control everything. Everything. Government, money, everything. The sports leagues, the musicians. That's why they got Chris Cornell going out on May 17th. Just for good measure, the 187, Washington, D.C. equals 187, George Washington, 187. Donald Trump's convention began in Cleveland 187 days before Inauguration Day on July 18th, 18/7. With regards to Times Square having gematria of 147, huge number with the White House. 147 windows at the White House. U.S. President equals 147. President of the United States 147. Freemason 147. Conspiracy 50 states. America's 4th of July. Chris Cornell has a song about the 4th of July. And what's interesting is from today, the date of the news of his death, to the 4th of July is 47 days. I'll be interested to see what happens on the 4th this year as well as on the date of the solar eclipse. You can check out that video on Chris Cornell. So I was watching the headlines when this news broke. First it was 1 dead, 12 injured. Then it jumped to 1 dead, 19 injured. Typical. 112 is the alt dialing code for 911 in this nation. 112, the predominant dialing code for the emergency throughout the world. And in the U.S., if you dial 112, you'll be connected to 911 in almost all 50 states. The name Donald also has gematria of 112 as well as 119. 1 dead, 12 injured. 1 dead, 19 injured. I just talked about to Orthodox Jews how relevant the date or the Remembrance Day Tisha B'Av is. Orthodox. Remember, gematria is a Jewish practice. Orthodox equals 119, like All-Seeing Eye, like Star of David, like Master Plan. Look at their holiday Tisha B'Av, 911. This is to remember the destruction of the two towers, the two temples On 9/11, we have the memory of the destruction of the two towers. And remember how the market crashed after that? Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av also shares gematria of 134. It will be Donald Trump's 135th day in office, June 3rd, but another way to say that is it'll be 134 days after he took office. House of Cards has the gematria of 134, the hit TV show about the presidency with President Underwood. The name Underwood equals 47 and 119, just like Trump's 47, just like Donald's 119, just like President's 47, just like Bull is 47, the symbol for Wall Street. Today's date, it's also a date with a life lesson number of 33. New York has gematria of 33, like Dow Jones, which had its biggest fall yesterday on the 137th day of the year. 137 is the 33rd prime. White House equals 137, government 137, authority 137. The market fell 373 points on May 17th. 373 is the 74th prime number. Remember, New York City is on the 74th meridian. 7433, the Masonic pairing. Jesus on the cross at 33. Sacrifice. Jesus 74. Cross 74. Messiah 74. Gospel 74. What's God in this world? It says it right on our money. In God we trust. God has the same gematria as dollar. When they crush the money system, which, is what we're all relying on because we've been born into this slave system that runs on money, which the powers that shouldn't be control, when they crush the money, they crush humanity with it. They've done it so many times in the past. It's how they get people to sign up for war that they would rather not be in. It's how they get people to sell out their lives when they would rather not. So today, life lesson number 33, number often used in these ritual hoaxes too, and this is what we have in New York City. And of course, it's the police who always sell us out. Let's not forget that police is 33. Again, watch that movie Filth. Filth has gematria of 55. Movie about a police department and a competition for a job promotion, and everyone at the department's in Freemasonry. That film came out on the 55th birthday of the person who wrote it. Filth. Hollywood, they try to clue us in. They try to let us know what's going on in a mocking way. So from today to June 3rd is also 16 days. 16 and 90, the only two numbers when written out that sum to 33. For one more 33. The Dow Jones in the crosshairs, June 3rd, 2017. CNN puts up a 53-second story. 53 is the 16th prime number. 1 in 12. 1 dead, 12 injured, a lot like the number 112. The word mathematics in gematria is 112. 1 plus 1 is 2. The word circle is 112. Geometry. Gematria is geometry within language. Circles, pi. All connected into the English alphabet. See my work on Pi Day. Did a lot of work on pi in the English language. If you want to appreciate what this is all about and how this system's been built, watch those videos. Think about Jesus and his 12 disciples, the sun and the 12 signs of the zodiac, the skull and the 12 wrinkles of our brain. That's what it's all about. Again, we have 33 vertebrae in our back that travel up to our skull. Skull in gematria is 33. Manly P. Hall, who wrote more than any other Mason ever did, sharing the secrets, let everyone know that 33 is all about humanity and enlightenment and reaching knowledge. Traveling up the 33 vertebrae of the spine to your brain, to where your pineal gland is. Pineal 33, skull 33, 33 vertebrae in your back. The word people 33, the word person 33, society 33, order 33. The home row of your keyboard, A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, sums to 33. There's a reason they do this, the ritualistic way that they do. The powers that shouldn't be, for them, it's all about the opposite thing. In this study of Kabbalah, there's the study of ascension and also the study of how to go down. And guess what the powers that shouldn't be do to us? Constant stuff to push us down like this. Down, fear, control, intimidation. This is what it's all about. One tragedy after the next to weigh us down. I got to tell you, honestly, this morning even I'm feeling sick about it. I really liked Chris Cornell as a musician, and one of two things have happened. You know, he's either been murdered by the numbers or he's faked his death and retired accordingly. You know? One of two. Put out a video on how his death is synced up with the August 21st eclipse. These stories coming at this time for a reason. In the last 48 hours, I put out videos on why May 17th, 2017, not 2017, just May 17th of any year, is the perfect date for a Masonic ritual sacrifice under the May sun. Just did a video on this about the death of Bill Clinton's father on May 17th. And then here's Chris Cornell dying under the May sun in tribute to a solar sun eclipse to happen later this year. You know, I've just been talking about this, and now maybe the most definitive proof that I ever found within 48 hours later. Staying up all last night to let you know they're signaling all sorts of things for the market, and then this morning we wake up with this story right in front of our face. Before we go, let's just take the headline here. We'll break down the whole headline and also the right toward, which they emphasized. I'm sure there's some golden stuff here. There always is. Okay, so the first headline's 187. You know what I mean? And this is how I do my blog posts, you guys. I just take screen captures. Normally my face isn't on the screen, so it's easier. And then, you know, I just go to the blog and then get the coded terminology, and we know what it's all about. I just explained 187 in this video. And then, you know, just share the knowledge with you. And by the way, 146 is a whole nother topic. I've done videos on 146. See my work on the death of the giant from Game of Thrones in 146 if you want to learn more about that number. But right toward me, what else do we got here? 62 like May sun. Here we are in May, rituals under the May sun. 64 like Israel, Zion, Thelema, American. The 64 spaces on the chessboard. We have 143 like Scottish rite of Freemasonry, without the ancient accepted part, pointing right to the date May 23rd, the 143rd day of the year. I think that's what we're going to get with our Wall Street. You know, May 23rd, Jerusalem Day, Donald Trump in Jerusalem. Then the next day is at the Vatican, Vatican 119, just like Francis. Donald Trump and the Pope, both Jesuits, born 187 days apart, or their birthdays are celebrated 187 days apart. But that's just what I mean with these headlines. They're always coded, and what if I just tell you about all video? All video, I'm talking about this. May sun. We decode the headline, it's right in front of our face again. Just yesterday, I explained why May 23rd, the most important date of all. May 17th and May 23rd, the two most important dates in the month of May. And as I said in November, you can go back and watch the video. I just re-uploaded it yesterday. I said to look out for May 18th. We're going to get a big clue. And here it is. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.